Hey people, what up? Hey, so today we have a PS4 Pro with overheating issue. The owner has attempted to clean the fan out and and it still hasn't prevented it from overheating. So we are going to do a deep clean in it, clean all the panels, do a fresh paste of thermal paste. I've got Thermalright thermal paste here ready, and then see if that solves the issue. Not sure how old this is. It looks in really good condition, so I don't see much dust at all, so the previous owner must have done a good job. So the first thing I'm going to do is take off this top panel. Yep, very good job. That's the top panel off. Yeah, it doesn't look dusty at all. The blade's got a very light dust on it, but other than that, it looks as good as they could have done. Right, I'm going to try to take the bottom panel off now. Again, looks very clean down here. This is where we need to get to, right under here. So we're not worried about the fan and stuff on this side. This is just for show, pretty much. We will have to take this power supply out. This is the power supply. Yep, so let's just concentrate on this bottom half for now. Okay. Get a Sharpie. What I'm going to do now is unclip these, this, that. That's the fan. Oh, yeah. So we'll go from there. Okay, that should be all the screws that I can see. So we just lift the shield up. Okay, thermal pads. It's very clean console. Very clean. Just a bit of dust there. And as you can see, this is the issue. There's barely any thermal paste. Look at that. Nothing on there, barely. So we're going to clean all this up, reapply fresh paste, give the board a clean because it's dusty, but other than that it's pretty clear. Obviously there's some dust under here. I'm going to take this heatsink off and then clean under there as well. Here we go. Right, let's have a look. Okay, so that could be the issue. I think that is the issue. That's also why it's overheating. Looks great that side. That side is clogged. Okay, that's good. The disk drive's in there as well. Give this a brush down. The fan, I'll take that off as well. Give that a brush down. All in the casing. I'll clean up. But yeah. So I've brushed out as much as I can. To me it looks pretty spotless. And I've also done the fan as good as I can. Again, it looks pretty good to me. I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to place the fan back in. If I remember how it went in. Oh dear me. Is it like that? Yeah, there you go. Like that. Put the 2 screws back in. So that's good. There you go. Okay, right, that's all done. I'm debating whether to take the disc drive apart to clean the rollers. Do I? Do you know what? Might as well, innit? Alright, let's take the disc drive out. It's easy as that to remove the disc drive. And these are the rollers, what I'm talking about. But what we're going to do is we're also going to take off this and then clean the rollers properly. And it's all nice and clean in there, mostly. That's where the padding is for the discs to go in. That's nice and clean. So if I just remove this frame a minute, start on the disc. Okay, it's a bit dusty in here. I'm going to give that a brush. That should go up and down. Yeah, it does. I'm going to take these rollers out, give them a clean of IPA. Yeah, it's a bit dusty. So I'm just going to take these rollers out in a minute. Give the little laser a little clean as well. Okay. And yeah, I'll show you how I clean these rollers too. So with the rollers, I use a thing called isopropyl alcohol, 99.9%. I put a bit in a spare cap. This stuff, you could literally tip it all over your electronics. It's not conductive. It super cleans everything. It's just great stuff. It could fix things as well, surprisingly, if nothing works. Like if you get a dodgy port, maybe clean it with this stuff and it could make it work again. It cleans it so well. So I get a cotton bud, put some isopropyl alcohol on the end, and I literally give it a nice scrub. Nice. Get the mid frame. I've got screws there. So first, we put it back in. Make sure there's no ribbon cables stuck along the way. Nice. Okay, that's the disc drive all done. Cool. I am back with the heatsink, and you can see much clearer. Perfect. So that's a nice clean heatsink. So let's go mount this back on here without trapping anything. So now what I'm going to do is put thermal paste onto the main board, and then actually first I'll clean this up with IPA. Get all the old thermal paste off. You can see how black that is. Make sure it's nice and clean. Right, now clean motherboard. And it's time to clean this. So what I tend to do is get a brush and literally just try brush off the thermal paste. The old thermal paste gets stuck in between everywhere, and this helps pulls it out. Not too aggressively because it could damage these capacitors around the GPU, APU. I think we're good there. There's a little bit in the corner there that's been stubborn. There you go. So that's a nice clean die. Clean it with IPA. Make sure it's nice and clean. Nice. Okay. Now I grab my thermal paste and I'm going to put a little line across it. So what I do is put a line all the way across. Some would say, oh, that's the perfect amount of thermal paste. Some would say, oh, that's not enough. It's good to me. And then we get this main board up, the body, and what we're going to do is put it upside down to make contact with this heatsink. Yep, put the power supply back in. The actual power supply looks quite clean. Plug in this connector. Next is this lovely shield. Actually, it's the hard drive. Putting this final screw into there where it was originally. Wait, what is that? Torx bit. Typical. Okay, and that's it, fully back together, nice and cleaned out, fresh thermal paste. The owner did lose the bracket for the hard drive, so yeah, I'm going to give it a test and I'll report back if everything's working. It's going to give it a nice wipe down afterwards once I've cleaned my hands, and yeah. Okay, so it's all back together. Plugged it in, been playing for 15 minutes and no overheating. Hey! Is he gonna beat me up? Yeah, bear with me while I just sort him out. Okay, never mind, I got ran over and then just kicked me as I was getting up, so I died. Yeah, so it's fully working. I put a disc in there, it works perfectly as well. You could hear, okay, maybe you can't hear it, but the fan, I don't know if you could hear it or not. The fan is going, I can feel some nice warm air being blown out the back. It means the heat is transferring lovely. Yeah, I think this is done. It's going to give it a nice wipe down, ready for the customer, and away you go. Perfect.